Yo, it's Trent. Welcome to Super Bowl 58 predictions and bets, right? If you haven't checked out my other videos, check them out. I did predictions all year and I tell story times. Let's get to it. So first of all, before we get to all the bets I put down, because I put down quite a few for this game, let's just talk about the game, right? The prediction, who do I think is going to win? So first of all, it's a great storyline, amazing storyline. I know everybody's hating on it, and I get the Taylor Swift thing. It's annoying that they kept showing her all the time, right? But also, I get the other side of it where it's like, dude, just chill. They've shown her, like, they're going to show her. What are you going to do about it? But it is a little annoying, right? But that's not even the storyline. You got Patrick Mahomes, right? Who's the new Brady. It's fair enough to say no one else is taking that place. And he's not there yet, but over time, if he keeps doing what he has done the first 6 years, he's going to be better than Brady. It's obvious, right? And I used to have that full hatred for Brady. I don't have it for Mahomes, right? Like, I don't know why, but it's just a respect thing. It's like he's so good, you can't really hate it, you know? Then on the other side of it, you got Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, okay? And I hate everybody that says it's scripted, all that. I get the running joke, right? It's cool, but it could never happen, right? Like, think about it. You really think out of like thousands of guys that play, they could get every single one to agree to it and never talk about it? Like, come on now. That's just crazy to think. People have dreams when they're kids, they go through the hardest things to get to this point. You think they're going to get there. And then Roger Goodell's like, hey, I'll give you $2 million to throw this game. They're not going to do it, dude. They're not going to do it. Okay. Then it's tight end heaven. You look at the tight ends, you got Kittle versus Kelsey. That's just beastly. I love that, right? And then just the whole teams. I mean, you look at San Francisco, they're completely stacked, right? Like, especially on their defense. You look at their defense, Bosa, Young, Fred Warner, you got Hufanga. The corners are solid. Defensive line solid. Armstead, all those guys are just ballers, right? And then Mahomes, Kelsey, Rashid Rice, Isaiah Pacheco. It's going to be a great battle, right? But overall, and I really want to see Brock Purdy win more than anything, right? Like, I want the 49ers to win just for Purdy, but I got to give it to the Chiefs. I really do. 31-28. They haven't been beaten a lot, They're proven to win in the big games. And Brock Purdy's been doing great. I want him to win so bad. Like, the whole Mr. Relevant coming from nowhere to winning everything. I want that for him so bad. But just logic and what we've seen the past couple years, you have to pick Mahomes if, you're logically thinking. It's just, no matter how stacked of a team they have against him, he always finds a way to win. And we're going to see one of those wild throws, at least a couple of them. I mean, even when they were losing, remember that diving throw he made? They put it in the Madden game just for his throw. Like, that's insane. And the only other guy to do that, Brock Purdy. It was in college and it was incomplete pass, but so was Mahomes. It hit the guy in the helmet, Both awesome passes. They put that animation in the game just for him. You got to think about that. So I think it's going to be a good game, great battle, but I have the Chiefs winning it. Now, let's talk about making some money, right? Let's talk about the bets that we have placed. So I made 3 different bets. I use Prize Picks like most people do now. I mean, DraftKings is good. There's a lot of good ones out there, but with how much Prize Picks gets talked about, and it's a lot. It's close to a 50-50 chance when you look at the numbers, because it's over more or less. You can pick whatever variation you want pretty much, unless no one's on the same team. It's good, right? Like, it's solid. So we're going to be talking about those. First of all, we have Kittle for more than 50 reception yards, right? Or 50.5. I don't see how you couldn't take that, right? You have to assume that Kittle's going to get what? A pass or two a drive, right? And then that pass goes for what? 5 yards to 10 yards? They're going to have more than 5 drives. Kittle's going to hit that easily, right? Even if they cover Kittle more than anybody else, then you have Debo, Ayuk, you have McCaffrey, all these guys that they have to cover Kittle. So, or Kittle's the one we're talking about. But when everybody has to focus on covering all these superstars, he's going to be open sometimes, right? They got tight end screens. They got weird routes they run. He'll get the 50 yards, okay? Then Kelsey for 1 touchdown. That's a little scary, right? Because Isaiah Pacheco is a beast. So if they get within the 5, you could see him handing it off a lot, right? But also, who else are you going to look for in the red zone besides Travis Kelsey? Also, if it gets late in the game and it's tied, when that game's on the line and Mahomes has to throw it up, there's only one man he's throwing it to, and it's Kelsey, right? And Kelsey, he's a beast. He does not like to go down easily, and he can high point that ball. Not like Gronk used to do, right? And not like Antonio Gates and some of the real, like the greats. Travis Kelsey will be in the Hall of Fame. He is great, right? But he's better at like route running and getting guys off of him than high pointing the ball, right? But in that scenario, they would throw to him, right? So I would say it's not like a for sure hit, but Kelsey for a touchdown, it's not a bad pick either. So then for the third one in there, because this was a flex, 2 out of 3, I have Purdy for more than 248 passing yards, right? Now this one, he didn't even reach this last week, right? So that's why I'm a little about it. Like I could see how it could be less if you picked less for Brock Purdy's passing yards. I can fully agree with that too, right? It's just an opinion thing. I think of the Super Bowl, I think this is a longer game than any of the other games, even though it's the same 60 minutes. They take more timeout breaks, more commercials. Guys get water for a longer time. The halftime will be longer. I just see them being rested and ready to throw the ball, ready to play, going all out, right? So I'm taking the more on the passing yards, right? Then the next one is pretty much my easiest bet of the whole night. The Mahomes free bet, which is just Mahomes over 1 passing yard or half a passing yard. So all he has to do is complete 1 pass in the whole Super Bowl. Obviously, that's going to hit, right? Then the second one for that is Purdy more than 1.5 passing touchdowns. Now, with McCaffrey, it could easily go the other way, right? But when you look at the red zone, Purdy's ran the ball in like once or maybe twice, right? Like he does not run in the red zone. And McCaffrey, he gets in there on the first or second attempt, but if he gets stuffed up, they're going to have to pass, right? Then you look at, like I talked about before, Kittle, Ayuk, Debo, McCaffrey, all the receivers, all those guys, they're going to be open. So I definitely can see him throwing the ball in there. But if they hand it to McCaffrey, then I'm going to lose that one. That's just how it goes. And lastly, this last bet was one that I did not want to make, right? But I just threw it in there at the end because it was kind of like, hey, I have extra money, might as well, put it up there, which I shouldn't have done. That wasn't the smartest decision, but we're here, so let's talk about it, right? Bosa for more than 1/4 of a sack. What that means, right, is all he has to do for that one to hit is all 4 of the defensive linemen, let's say they rush 4 guys, right? All he has to do is touch the quarterback and they sack him, right? All he has to do is touch his pad and someone sacks him, right? Or he could get half a sack. Him and another guy, him and Chase Young tackle Mahomes, right, together, sack them together, boom, it hits. Or he just gets a sack. I feel like that one could be pretty easy, right? That's why I picked it, but when I was betting all year, I barely hit on sacks, right? So that's why I was iffy about that one. But Bosa in the Super Bowl, you kind of hope that one will hit, right? Then lastly, along with the Bosa one, this is the second one to that. Mahomes plus Purdy, 511 passing yards, 0.5 passing yards, right? Now, the reason I picked that, right, and the only reason I picked over is because I picked over for the Brock Purdy one. Now, if I was going to pick under for the Purdy, I would pick under for this, right? Because, if there's no way that he's going to get under 248 and then Mahomes throws for what, like 350 yards? That would be insane. I mean, he could do it. I'm not saying it won't happen, but you just have to think, like I was saying about the Super Bowl, they're going to be airing the ball out. I mean, both teams have good rushing defenses. McCaffrey has to run through Chris Jones, and I can't think of their lineman right now. Dana, maybe? I don't know. But if I'm McCaffrey, I don't want to run into Chris Jones, right? And if I'm Isaiah Pacheco, I for sure don't want to run anywhere near the 49ers line. So I just think it's going to be a passing game. And since I picked the over for Purdy, I'll pick the over for both of them combined, right? So that's 3 bets in total, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's like 7 picks in 3 bets. So, pretty good. Hopefully those hit, and I wish everyone the best of luck on their bets, right? But overall, it will be a good game. I promise you, if anybody's watching this and believes in the script, it's not real, man. That's not real. And I feel like I'm the only person that, like, I was at first, like, I complain about Taylor Swift all the time, right? But Honestly, it is just going to bring more fans, so, like, who really cares? But I just hope Purdy wins. I really want to see him win, and I want them to show Taylor in the box, like, you get what I'm saying? After Purdy throws some dots and is, like, celebrating, but who knows who will win? It's going to be a good game. It's going to be a matchup. It is going to be the Super Bowl, right? And a lot of people wanted the Lions-Baltimore, but let me tell you something. If the Lions got into the Super Bowl, they would have gotten killed, okay? So, I mean, they were losing. They did have a good season, and I'm a Bears fan, so it's biased, right? But you saw how shitty us Bears were, and we almost beat them twice, okay? We beat them once, and the second one we should have won, but we choked at the end. Like, no team in the Super Bowl should be losing to the Bears, okay? But thanks for watching. Make sure you sub, share, like, comment, check out my other videos. Be safe, and if anybody ever needs anything, you can hit me up. I'll answer. Peace out.